Welcome to the Building Up Women in Property podcast. I'm your host, Rebecca Bangura, and I'm thrilled to have you here with me today. This podcast is for ambitious women who work in property and construction, who want to learn how to have a career they love on their terms. Join me every week where I'll leave you excited and confident to take your next steps. Thanks for being here with me. Now let's get started. Hello and welcome to another episode of Building Up Women in Property podcast. I'm thrilled to have you here today. Now, I want to talk today about your most valuable asset. And I hope it doesn't come as a surprise to anyone that you are your most valuable asset. Yep, your mind, your skills, they are what bring the dollars home. And it is so important to really recognize this because sometimes we actually forget that when we show up to work, there is a value exchange going on, right? You are ultimately, as an employee, getting paid to be a resource to an organization. And as that resource, you bring all your skills, your experience, your knowledge, and you are paid accordingly. So the more skills and experience you have, the more value you bring to an organization. And you might do that through managing more complex issues or projects, or being able to do things more efficiently and effectively, or delivering outstanding customer results, or negotiating better outcomes. But these are all things that benefit an organization. It's what allows them to grow and to thrive. And so being more proficient and more skilled is what makes you more valuable to an organization. And it allows you to charge more, which translates directly into money in the bank for you. And this is why we want to be constantly investing and upskilling in ourselves, because you are your most valuable asset. It's your skills and abilities that allow you to earn more. And the earlier in your career that you can earn more, the better, right? Because earning an extra 20 or 30 or 50K a year, if you're doing that in your 20s, 30s, 40s, that all compounds over the course of your career, and it will make a huge amount of difference to your overall net wealth. So I really invite you to take the time, make the effort to invest in making yourself the most valuable asset that you can be, so that you can reap the rewards when it comes to negotiating your salary. And when you think of yourself as an asset, I want you to focus on one particular thing, and that is your mindset. Because we can sometimes fall into the trap of thinking that people are more successful or are doing better because they have an innate ability or a natural talent for something. But the truth is, the distinction between successful people has nothing to do with natural talent. It's all to do with mindset. So if you want to create more success and more financial freedom and more skills, I want you to really think about how you cultivate your own growth mindset. When we talk about growth mindset and fixed mindset, these are really terms that come from Dr. Carol Dweck, who's a mindset psychology professor. And they really talk about a person's beliefs about learning and intelligence and achievement. And in the simplest of terms, a fixed mindset is where we believe that talent is innate, whereas a growth mindset believes that effort leads to improved outcomes. And people with a fixed mindset tend to be more limited in their perceptions of what is possible because they assume that achievement and success is the direct result of inherent intelligence and ability. And with that fixed mindset, people are less likely to persist at tasks and develop mastery because they don't believe that improvement is really possible for them. And they avoid taking risks in order to avoid the possibility of failure. And if you flip that with the growth mindset, that type of thinking is the opposite. With a growth mindset, we are thinking that the effort will lead to improvement, which will ultimately result in achievement and success. And therefore, we're willing to make that sustained effort, which then allows us to progress and leads to improved outcomes. So instead of avoiding failure, a person with a growth mindset embraces the challenge and sees failure as an opportunity to grow and develop. When we think about this in terms of ourselves as our most valuable asset, the more we can lean into a growth mindset, the more we are allowing ourselves to develop and build our skills and to get better and better at things. Because as much as we would all like to be brilliant at everything from day one, that's not how it works. We have to actually work very intentionally at things. And this is why people who have a career plan tend to do better, because they actually have something they are working towards and they are putting in the sustained effort to get there. They're doing the reps, so to speak. Whereas if you don't have a plan, you tend to be dwindling along and you are responsive to things that happen rather than being proactive. And opportunities usually come to you when you have developed a level of mastery. And so when we think about this in terms of your career, I want you to think about how you approach it. If you are coming at this from a growth mindset, you are looking at what are the opportunities to grow and get better, knowing that repeated effort will give you mastery. It will give you skills. If you're coming at it from a fixed mindset, you're much less likely to progress because you aren't challenging yourself. You don't have the belief that you can achieve the next level of success. And essentially, the growth mindset is pushing you to keep going and keep challenging yourself and getting better and better. And the fixed mindset is telling you to stay safe and avoid failure because there's no point. And this is where I see a huge distinction between people who have a clear career goal and a career plan versus people that don't. So people with a plan and a clear goal are much more likely to achieve more professional success and earn more money because they are very clear on what they are trying to do and they are committed to the growth process to get there. And so every step of the way, they are building their skills. They are getting better and better. They are becoming more and more valuable. And they are focused on what they are working towards. They know what they are cultivating. And they can see the long range value of investing the time and effort. And so each setback that they experience, each rejection or failure becomes a learning opportunity for them. It becomes a way to get better and to increase their value, as opposed to having a fixed mindset where failure can actually feel like a personal reflection of our own inadequacies. And it's like failure is a reflection of how smart or talented we are. And it's just not true, because it really boils down to the idea that success requires perseverance and dedication and tenacity. And that is how we develop skills. It's how we become more experienced and knowledgeable and valuable. And that requires us to constantly pursue a growth mindset. It is necessary as it allows us to keep progressing towards our goals. And it gives us the space to deal with the inevitable failures and the hiccups along the way. It's important as well to not stress about this too much, because we all have elements of fixed and growth mindsets in different things that we do. And what we need to do is just focus on becoming more aware of our own subconscious thinking around these things. And then we need to consciously commit to fostering that growth mindset every day. So we are adding to our skill sets and we are becoming more and more valuable. I hope you've been enjoying the episode. I wanted to take a moment to let you know about my free Career Confidence Masterclass. This is for ambitious career-orientated women who are ready to stop playing small and to confidently create a career you love. Head over to my website, beautifuldisruptions.com, for more info. Now let's get back to the episode. Now, it may sound obvious that sustained effort leads to better results, but it actually isn't, because beliefs are formed at pivotal times in our lives, and our mindset towards learning is consequently ingrained in us at a very young age. And we are impressioned by thinking of others around us. But the great news is that neuroscience actually proves that our brain's plasticity allows our neural pathways to connect and strengthen through experience, which means that our actions impact our beliefs and that our beliefs can be changed. So if you are ready and you want to embrace this growth mindset so that you can grow and get better and better every day, here are 5 ways that you can do it. The first is start embracing the word yet. These 3 little letters will absolutely shift your thinking. Adding the word yet at the end of every sentence, it focuses your attention on your trajectory rather than your current position, and it fosters a mentality of lifelong learning. So embrace the word yet, right? I put this at the end of every sentence. I can't do it yet. I don't know that skill yet. This focuses your attention onto your trajectory rather than your current position, and it fosters a mentality of lifelong learning. So it sets you up for continued growth and progress. Now, the second one is I want you to really focus on continuously improving your habits, because making those small, consistent changes will allow you to shift things exponentially. You will see exponential improvements by making small tweaks to your habits on a daily basis. Now, the third thing is to create an environment that supports risk-taking and that values the process of achievement, not just the outcome. Now, if you work within a very risk-averse organization, this can be really challenging because they don't want to go through that failure or that growth process. And it then becomes a challenge for each of us to really push the boundaries on that and think about what could happen if we explore a new way of doing things and get comfortable yourself with taking more risks and pushing to try new things. The fourth thing is I want you to view every challenge as an opportunity, right? So constantly asking yourself, what can I learn from this situation? And I always love these 3 questions. What went well? What didn't go so well? What would I do differently? Keep applying those questions to every situation and you will continue to build your knowledge bank. You will start to filter out and understand what does and doesn't work. You will be building your proficiency and your expertise with those 3 questions. The final one is focus on your big picture. Keep your purpose front of mind. Why are these things important? Why do we care? Why do you care? And I want you to focus on your big picture, right? Keep your purpose front of mind. Why are you doing the work you do? And I hope that it's not only to have an exciting and a fulfilling career, but also so that you can have the impact and the value and the respect that comes from being a valuable resource. And so with these small changes, you really will create big results over time. And this is a long game approach. But I tell you, doing this consistently, if you make growing and a growth mindset and your own progress and development your number one priority, your career will go from strength to strength. You will keep up leveling every step of the way. And on that journey, you will be able to earn more money. You will be able to have more influence, more impact. You'll be able to do more fun things with your career. You'll be able to achieve the goals you want because you are constantly doing the work to get there. Your own professional development and professional growth shouldn't wait until you hit a brick wall. You should be taking the time and prioritizing this now. And I want to leave you with this one final thought. It is never the how that keeps us stuck. We can Google how to do anything these days, right? We can always get the information to know what to do. But what keeps us stuck is our own thinking. It's the thinking that we should have it all figured out already, or that we can't do it, or that someone else is better at this than we are. All of those thoughts are stuck in fixed mindsets. So give yourself a little wiggle room here. Allow yourself to play with things, to keep challenging things, and to keep working on things to get better outcomes. And in the process, keep increasing your skills and your knowledge and your value as an asset. Every time you're practicing your growth mindset, you are becoming more valuable as an asset for yourself and for your future and the life that you want to create. Okay, have a beautiful day. I can't wait to see you next time. Thanks for joining me on the Building Up Women in Property podcast. If you'd like to learn more about what I do, head over to Instagram. I'm at Beautiful Disruptions, and reach out if you want to connect. Have a beautiful day, and I'll see you next time.